Guys and girls, welcome from explorer.com. In this video, I'll be discussing about few things about PHP, that is file inclusion functions in PHP. Okay, there are mainly four file inclusion functions in PHP, that is include, required, include once, and recur once. So what is the use of these file inclusion functions? So these functions are very important in PHP because suppose you think that you are designing a website and you have thousands of web pages in your website, right? And in that, the common functionalities what will you be having is the header and footer, right? This will be the common things. Whatever page you browse, these are the common things: the header and footer, and in the body, the content will be changing as per your requirement, right? Now suppose think that in 1000 pages there I wrote the headers and footers. Now after 1 year of my website development, I want to change the footer. So what should I do? I should change everything, right? I should change each and every page. I have to change the footers and all, so it takes a lot of time, right? But it's going to be reduced with this file inclusion functions. So what this file inclusion functions does is, whenever you include some, suppose you wrote a separate HTML file for a header, okay, you wrote separate HTML for footer, and whenever you include this file at the top of every page, top and bottom of every page, you just include this file. You can just write include. In that include, you will be writing header.html or footer.html, like that. You'll be just including at every top and bottom of every page. Now suppose if you want to change that headers and footers, you can just change that one file, and if you change that one header and footer file, it will be going to reflect in all the pages at its stretch. So that's the power of this file inclusion function. I will show in real time how this works. Okay, let us see that. Here I have taken a PHP file called file inclusion functions. I have created a PHP file called file inclusion function, and think that I am writing an HTML. I am writing the PHP code here. I started with HTML and slash HTML, and I am getting the title as file inclusion functions. Okay, that's your requirement. And next I have the body, right? So I'll be writing here body. Okay, sorry for that. And now you think that I suppose I will create another file. I have another file called form.html. I have already made the file called form.html. Learn PHP. Think that I have a file called form.html in my server. Okay. Okay, so here this file is called as form.html, right? In this form.html I have written Rajesh, sorry, first name. There is first name and last name, and I have submit button, right? This is the HTML file of form.html. And now suppose think that I want to include this form.html in my file inclusion.php file. I want to include the form.php in my file inclusion.php file. So what I have to do, I'll just in my body tag I'll just include. Now I'll save this file inclusion.php, and I'll just execute this file inclusion.php in my browser. Let's see what happens now. Okay, see, it's nothing, right? You don't have nothing here. Now what I want is, I want to make that form to be appeared in my file inclusion file. I don't write again the code for that file inclusion file. I'll just include a file name with PHP. I start The syntax for include function is start your PHP tag here, PHP, and you close your PHP tag here, and in between this PHP tags I'm going to include the function called include form.html. okay, this is what I'll be writing, and the semicolon is necessary. Okay, here you have to write the semicolon also in order to end that include function. And now I'll save this, sorry for that, and now I'll run that file inclusion.php file. Just see, now I have in my file inclusion.php file I have the form name, that is first name and last name, but I didn't write any form tags and all in my file inclusion.php. So this is the beauty of this include file. Okay, so whenever you are including a file with this include function, that it retrieves, this include function retrieves the content from this form.html and displays that in where you have written that. I have written here in body tag, so it displays there. Okay, in that place it is going to retrieve the information from the form.html file, and it will place the all the code here. And now when you are looking for the browser, if you are looking for view page source, see here you have gotten this, but in my main page I didn't write any code. So this is about file inclusion.php. okay, you'll be able to see the code also there, because it is retrieving from the form.html and executing, and you will be able to see on the browser. So next is in the same way require.html also. If you just change that in require. This why we use this require.html require function also. The require function also does the same as include function does. It retrieves the information whatever you have included in that. So I have included here the require form.html, right? I'll just save this, and now I'll just run this here. Okay, so that's what is happening. Suppose you think that this is form.html, right? So I want this form.html in file inclusion.php. okay, see, I have gotten the same, right? That is about file inclusion. Next, coming to, we have finished include and require. So what is the difference between include and require? I'll just show you that. The main difference between these two functions is, suppose in my form.html I had written an error called just for.html, and this for.html is not there in my server. Okay, and it's basically an error. And below that I have written a head tag called h1. Okay, hello from explore, things like that. And I just save this, and I'm executing this file.inclusion file here. See here, you got an error, right? That is function require error. We have gotten a fatal error basically. So whenever you are using your just close it. Whenever you are using your require function, and if it finds an error in your file which you have included, that is here for.html is not there in my server, right? It found out that the for.html is not there. What is it going to show? It is going to show you the error, that is fatal error. It is going to show, and it stops the execution up to there. I also have a head tag here below that PHP require function. I have also the head tag, that is hello from Explorer, but I am not able to see that also here. So whenever you use this require function, and if that file is not there in your server or whatever, wherever you have stored, and the execution will be stopped, and whatever the below that you have written the code, you might have written the HTML page code, and that will not be executed. But whereas when you do that with include file, I'll just save this and I'm just going to run this. Okay, so see here, whenever you are going to use this or include file, it is giving you a warning. That is, it is also telling you that there is an error, but it is also doing another thing. That is, it is also printing your hello from Explorer, that is the head tag. But whereas in require function, when we are using this require function, I didn't find this hello from Explorer. So that's the difference between include and require. The main difference is handling the error, right? So the require function will stop the execution whenever it sees the error, whereas in include function it just gives you a warning for that and it executes all the content below that file. So that's the main difference between that and your include ones. And next is about include. We have finished with include and require, and next go with include ones and require ones. Include ones and require ones are the same as include and require, but with one difference called why we use that ones here. I'll tell you that. Suppose you think that I have included this include for.html here in this. I'll just name it as form.html, and now you think that if I just give that include once form.html, and suppose you think that I have again given include once form.html, now what you will think is, since I have included two times this form.html, I have to get the two forms here, one below the other, right? You think that like that, but the case is here, whenever you execute that, you will be getting only one form, because that is called as include once. Whenever you include once says that you include your file only once, and after that, how many times, if you include 100 times this file, that will not be going to be executed. Okay, it only executes one file at a time, and below whatever you write here, it will not include that. And the require once function also goes like the same as include once function does, and there is the major difference between include once and require once is in handling the errors, which are same as include and require functions. Okay, that is about include, require, include once, require once. So take care guys, you have a lot to learn in front. Stay tuned with explorer.com. Be supporting us on YouTube /ExplorerTech. Take care guys, bye bye.